Hey, Blade Bloomers.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of JayKo, the Late Bloomers.
In today's episode, we are talking about finding your purpose or walking in your purpose. Either way, you're going to be purposely doing some things, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to learn more about your host, JayKo, the Late Bloomers, because I'm Coco, this is Jacob. And you're gonna learn more about us. And so Today is part 1 of the purpose of finding Jacob's purpose, and then part 2. Guess who's gonna be part 2?
Yeah, we're gonna be talking to Coco about her purpose.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
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 All right.
Part 2 will be me. So, yeah. So today, let's get to know you, Jacob.
If you ever met us in real life,
isn't that IRL?
Yeah, IRL. In real life, you're one of those hipsters, huh?
One of them hipsters.
With on the tweet box.
Yeah.
In the Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the story really is in the 3rd grade, my teacher kind of made us all start writing, and the majority of the students in our class kind of hated the assignment, but I actually liked it. And then at one point, you know, while hip hop was coming up, she was like, well, hip hop is poetry.
Did she do the Obama voice? Well,
Jacob, thank you for...
That's where you were going.
Anyway, it's because I'm presidential, naturally.
No, I'm saying, and I am classy, naturally.
Yeah. So the thing is, she even told us, because poetry was hip hop and hip hop was poetry, that if we wanted to write a rap verse, we could do that too.
Sold.
So I did it.
Sold.
And at that point, 8 years old, I wrote my first rap verse. So that's how everything started.
Okay, that was an interesting story. I didn't know, like, you wrote a whole rap.
A rap verse and everything.
This makes my life, I just had a whole epiphany about our whole life together, and I understand a lot of things now. Because he remembers things in music. Like, if you ask Jacob to drive somewhere that he's already driven before,
Nope.
If it has nothing to do with a song, that brother don't know. But
Jacob in directions.
No. Anyway, back to the talent at hand.
But basically, everything that's on this shirt, art, photography, writing, dancing, acting, design.
Arts. Everything,
as you're growing up, a lot of times you'll run into people who will kind of put peer pressure on you and act like, well, you're a dork because you like to do whatever it is. I was kind of hearing that, and I fell victim to, well, people don't like writing, so I shouldn't do it.
So is that considered late blooming?
Yeah, I will still say it's part of late blooming because I stifled my own creativity. So because of that, the seed was planted. I didn't allow it to grow because I didn't nurture it. I didn't water it. So I didn't allow it to bloom.
Or it wasn't the season. You know, if you watched last episode.
Yeah.
If you watch episode 2, you know about seasons, you know about couches, you know a lot of things. If you watch the 2nd episode, but you just on 3, you might need to roll back to 1, then go to 2, then come back to 3, and we'll say what's up then, or we'll say what's up now. Wherever you want to watch it, or that was a reference.
Or do you want us to pause and you go back? Hold on.
Ready?
Let's pause.
Okay.
And welcome back to episode 3.
Yeah.
No,
3.
but so yeah, I kind of stopped everything because it wasn't the cool thing to do. It still wouldn't be the cool thing to do by some people's standards. I'm into that.
Some people like to talk
Yeah.
about people that are just talented, like they're spectators. Like when you go to a game, people spectate and say, you should have shot that, whatever, hoop, ball.
The sports.
Of the sports. Wherever that ball's supposed to go, they think you should have did it perfectly. I'm just saying, some spectators go a little too far, and sometimes we take in a little too much of the spectators' comments, and we need to just keep that spectator in its place in our mind.
Ooh, did you see the attitude with that, with the movement? Yeah.
But so anyway, so tell us about your first book, and do you have it with you today?
So out of everything that I have written, the first book is actually the one that I don't have a copy of at the moment.
Sold out.
Yeah, which is a good thing. So I don't even have a copy of my first book but it is called My World, My Words, Confessions of a Cluttered Mind. And it is a collection of poetry that I put out. And all right, the second book, the Book of JayKo, is actually the second collection of poetry. And in both books of poetry, I'll talk about my life, because sometimes you deal with issues that other people deal with, but we aren't given the freedom to talk about them. I put everything that I was going through in these books so that people know they are not alone.
This book is literally, it says the Book of Jacob, and it's your testimony at that time in that place. So it's kind of like frozen in time.
Yeah. Into
the novel.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
How did you get inspired with this first novel? Can you please tell a mini version of the story?
So the first book is actually, the first novel, Dance of the Broken, that you can see right here. I was given the story by God, believe it or not. So with this cover right here that was actually taken by Coco, Korean Grovey, which is why we have to talk more about her talent so we can focus more on everything that she does. I had a doodle in mind, so I just drew it out, and it was a ballerina. I knew nothing about ballet, nothing about ballerinas, so after I just did my little sketch or whatever, I put it to the side. And God kept telling me I needed to write the story. But after about 1.5 years, 2 years of not doing anything with it, I was told, no, you have to do this now. So here we go.
Dance of the Broken.
Dance of the Broken.
We're not going to give away too much. That's why I'm cutting Jacob off, because I don't want him to tell the whole story. My first novel that I've read by Jacob, and I was just like, wow, you're super talented. And why did you do that? Those were the two things that I went through. But if you read it, you'll know why I said that. But
Yeah.
It's a good book.
So there's an ongoing series of children's books called The Adventures of Austin. And this is the first one here. The Adventures of Austin is actually inspired by our niece. And part of the reason why I felt it was necessary to do this is because little black kids, little black boys and girls, don't see themselves a whole lot in children's books. With everything I try to do, I try to include characters of color, lead characters of color that are not stereotypes. Because it's one thing to have a black person in a book, but it defeats the whole purpose if every time you read about a black person, they're the sidekick, or they're thug number 1 or thug number 2 in the movie that you watch, or
True story. So who are these people?
So if you look on the back, you'll see Austin, the young girl, the little girl on there. That's, like I said, our niece. There you see her father and her mother. And if you look on her father's shirt, you'll actually see a ram on there. It's just, a quick little shout out to HT in Austin, Texas.
Shout out.
Shout out to all the HBCUs.
So this is an adventure, and it teaches what to kids?
But this is a quick little lesson in science.
So you're teaching about science. I don't want him to give it all away, so I keep chopping them off. So it teaches little kids about science. Very important to see yourself and learn something.
Learn something.
Beautiful. Next adventure.
The second one is A Journey to Space. And with A Journey to Space, you learn, again, about science. And with it being space, you're going to learn about your planets and your galaxy and the solar system and things like that.
And the kids, do you know these kids?
Because these are real kids.
What?
These are all real kids. So
real kids.
In addition to Austin, let me say a shout out to Jenna, Marley, and Grayson.
What?
Because they're all in the book.
Guys.
And they're all very important to the story, and it's important to have a diverse group of friends as well, because that's the world that we live in. So
True story.
It needs to reflect that. The book is called The Fair Isn't Fair.
What?
And The Fair Isn't Fair is, as my wife would say, it's kind of like the child version of Life Isn't Fair. Why is this happening to me? All of that sort of thing.
I want some corn chips right now, and I want some whipped cream. Why?
Why? I don't know if that combination even goes together.
It doesn't, but I just want to have some corn chips and then later have some whipped cream on something. Or even a Beyond Meat burger. Shout out. Resume.
Yeah. So, The Fair Isn't Fair is just saying what's for you is for you, and you'll get what you're supposed to have, even if you don't get things right when you want to. So it's a lesson in patience.
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 Okay.
The last one is my most recent children's book. It's called
I wasn't trying to take your shot.
The Pig, the Lamb, and Mr. Feathers. Okay, and this book right here is actually, I will say, designed, formatted by Corinne Grovey right here.
I'm a part of the book. I'm a part of the book. My name is on the book.
Yeah. We
designed this together.
But when you're in your purpose, there are a lot of things.
They saw it. Boom.
There are a lot of things that you're going to have to do as you go through your journey that you may not like to do. You may not be able to do. You may have to ask for help.
You just don't want to do it, or it takes so many times to do it.
Or you need to get help.
Get help. Amen.
And that pride.
Amen.
That pride stands in the way a lot. And I know that that's something that I dealt with. I was blessed enough to have a wife that is able to go in. Yeah, that's you. That's you.
Because it's me.
That was able to go in and take the illustrations and help me format them in a way that they will be presentable and go through with the book. So thank you very much. I appreciate all of your work.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And just to mention that these 3 books are illustrated by different people. The Austin series is illustrated by Chris House. Shout out.
Shout out to you, Chris.
And The Fair and the Fair is illustrated by
Lakeem Wilson. What up, Lakeem?
And The Pig, the Lamb, the Mr. Feathers is illustrated by William Hazard. Shout out.
What up, Will?
Thanks. So you work with different artists. You make it a point. Did we mention that?
No, we didn't. But
yeah, let's mention.
So I can't walk in my purpose without trying to help others walk in theirs. So part of my role is to not only write books that include characters of color and be diverse with what I present, but it's also to help others get their work out and showcase the work of other people.
Or showing that they can actually do it. Because sometimes it's like, I don't know how to do this. And then they actually do it. And it's like, whoa,
you just
created a whole thing out of my imagination.
Both walking in our purposes help us both achieve a goal.
And the goals are, proof is in the pudding. The goals are here in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like we talked about before, you have to have a 2-couch faith like we do. And this journey is not easy.
No.
While you're walking in your purpose, you will find obstacles pretty much on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those tests are there for your testimony. If you had no tests, there'd
be no story. There'd be no, what would people know about you?
And so walking in your purpose is going to be a tough road. It's going to be a struggle, but it'll be worth it in the end. You have to keep progressing and keep working and keep going.
Keep fighting, keep pushing. And we're also talking to ourselves, aren't we?
We are, because we need to hear the message too. Part of being a late bloomer is finding out your purpose. That's one thing, but being able to stay true to it. And so, this work is all great, and I'm very blessed to have all of this. But my purpose is to continue to create content and continue to try to play my role in helping others showcase what it is they do as well.
Because you're not alone in this. You have to have other creators to create your story. So we all need each other.
Yeah, and keep that 2-couch faith so you can walk in your purpose. And I guess that's it for part 1 of walking in your purpose. And we will catch you next time. Again, as always, thank you to everybody who is on YouTube. Subscribe if you have not already. Patreon.com/JayKo the Late Bloomers. Hit us up on Twitter, IG, whatever. Look for us out here. We out here. Yeah. So episode 3 is a wrap. Part 1 of walking in your purpose. We'll catch you next time.
Peace sign. I wasn't doing number 2. It's peace.
It's peace. But for episode 3.